There's a reason you can't put your phone down. And it isn't a lack of willpower. It's a psychological trick nearly a century old, now running inside almost every app you use. Here's exactly how it works. In the 1950s, psychologist B.F. Skinner ran a series of experiments on reward and behavior. When lab animals received a reward every single time they performed an action, they responded steadily, then stopped once satisfied. But when Skinner made the reward unpredictable, sometimes nothing, sometimes small, occasionally large, something changed. The animals didn't slow down. They responded faster, longer, and more compulsively than they ever did for a guaranteed reward. Skinner called this a variable ratio reinforcement schedule, and it remains one of the most powerful behavior-shaping patterns ever documented. It's the same principle that makes slot machines the most profitable machines in any casino, because uncertainty, not certainty, is what keeps a brain engaged. Behavior shaped this way is also unusually resistant to extinction, meaning it's far harder to walk away from than a habit built on predictable rewards. Decades later, neuroscience explained why. Dopamine, the neurotransmitter tied to reward, doesn't peak when you receive something good. It peaks in anticipation, while the outcome is still uncertain. Research on dopamine and reward prediction, pioneered by neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz, showed that the brain behaves like a probability engine, constantly recalculating the odds of a payoff and releasing dopamine based on that uncertainty rather than the reward itself. Not knowing what happens next is neurologically more compelling than already knowing. This is where artificial intelligence changes the equation. A slot machine has fixed odds the same for every player. A recommendation algorithm does not. Every time you open a feed, an AI system is running live predictions about exactly what will hold your attention, based on your specific history, updated with every swipe, like, and pause. One person's feed might drift toward humor, another's toward outrage, another's toward calm aesthetic content. Not because the platform prefers any of those, but because each one for that particular brain produces the strongest unpredictable pull. It isn't producing random variable rewards anymore. It's engineering them personally, moment to moment. The uncertainty that made Skinner's experiment so powerful is now a machine learning model, optimizing that same uncertainty at a scale no casino could ever match. You can see this in ordinary moments. It's checking your phone with no real reason behind it. It's opening an app, finding nothing new, and opening it again 10 minutes later anyway. It's the difficulty settling into a book or a long meeting after an hour of short-form video, a pattern researchers call attention residue, where part of your focus stays caught on the last fast reward loop, even after you've moved on to something slower. None of this means your brain is broken. It means your brain is responding exactly the way any brain would to a system built specifically to produce that response. The bigger implication reaches beyond any single app. We're living through the first period in history where the systems competing for our attention aren't just persuasive by accident. They're optimized by machine learning continuously against a single target: engagement. Every version of every feed is a small experiment in what keeps a human brain hooked, and the versions that work best are the ones shown to the most people. That's not a conspiracy. It's simply what happens when an optimization system is aimed at a nervous system that hasn't fundamentally changed in a very long time. So what actually helps? Not quitting your phone forever, making the uncertainty visible again. The moment you can name a mechanism, it starts to lose some of its grip because you shift from unconsciously reacting to consciously noticing. In practice, that can mean turning off notifications, so the app can no longer initiate the loop for you, or removing an app icon from your home screen, so opening it takes a deliberate decision instead of a reflex. Small friction, placed on purpose, is often enough to interrupt a variable reward loop, because the entire system depends on the action feeling effortless and automatic. Understanding your own mind is the first real defense against systems built to predict it better than you can. That's exactly what this channel exists to do. break down the psychology behind the technology shaping how we think, feel, and focus, so you spend a little less time reacting and a little more time understanding. If that's useful to you, subscribe, because this is only one of the hidden mechanisms we're covering.